Hi, this is Shelley over at The Complete Combatant, and I write a monthly article for Shooting Illustrated. What I'm going to do is each month I am going to read one of those articles to you. The reason I'm going to do this is a couple things. One is I'm dyslexic. So dyslexia, that can actually affect the way that you read, the way that you spell, the way that you work numbers, the way you write, or even the way you speak, which means learning can be somewhat difficult. Not everyone learns the same, retains the same, or recalls the same. Everybody learns a little differently, and it could be you learn in one major learning group, or it might be a combination of a bunch of different learning styles. Some people, they learn best through numbers or colors or graphs or words on slides or words on paper. It could be verbal, it could be video, it could be images, or it could be through activities. These are all very common ways to learn. And like I said, some people learn best if you put all these together or combine one or two. So what I'd like to do is I would like to read to you an article from Shooting Illustrated. So maybe those people that are not big on reading and doesn't retain well through reading, maybe this video or hearing it via audio, maybe it might help you retain some of this information. So here we go. This is from October 2022, and this was my first article that I wrote for Shooting Illustrated. And this article is dedicating to my father, and he's no longer with us. And he would have been proud as punch to know that my first article was about him. So Dad, Thomas Oscar Henry Leader, this one's for you. Recognizing and interpreting pre-violence indicators. My dad would tell the best stories. It seems that he was a bit of a scrapper back in the day. You see, he grew up in the St. Louis area, graduated from high school weighing no more than 100 pounds, and he never, ever backed down. As an adult, this proved to be an asset in business, but in his youth, it meant some hard lessons. Growing up, he would share stories where sometimes he was the hero, and other times he was the instigator of schoolyard fights as a boy, pool hall altercations as a teen, and running from a large group in the dark streets of southern Illinois as a young adult. As he reminisced, he would say things to me like, "I didn't see that one coming. His hands were quick," or "I knew I had him," or I could tell he was bluffing by his body language. Or, this one's my favorite, "I quickly realized that I was in trouble when he started looking around for witnesses." When I look back on all of those statements now, I realize the extent of my dad's ability to recognize and interpret pre-violence indicators was vast. This subject has such depth that there are thousands of books, articles, blogs, etc. that have been written about pre-assault cues. Let's look at 5 pre-violence signs that my dad probably used to measure if a fight was imminent. Hesitation hesitation to respond or silence. If you are in a heated argument and all of a sudden the other person goes silent, seems distracted, or hesitates in answers, this usually means the fight could be imminent. You and we are not multitaskers and can't divide our attention very well when not under stress. Now imagine a stress-filled situation with our brains split between concentrating on an attack or responding verbally. The bad guy will most likely be fixated on the attack. Movements. The attacker frees his hands of bags, or he has exaggerated movements. His hands are fisted or hidden, or he may be swaying or even fidgeting. These movements are usually not subtle, and he could be freeing his hands so that he can attack. He could be clenching and unclenching his fist to get himself in the right mindset to strike. His hidden hands could be hiding a weapon, and his body movements could be a planned distraction. Grooming. Watch for the bad guy rubbing the back of his neck or his arms and hands. Watch for him running his fingers through his hair, adjusting his clothing, licking his lips, or puffing up, and even touching his face. These are all subconscious movements that can be directly related to fight or flight. The need to rub can be caused by anxiety, where our adrenal glands stimulate a prickling sensation. The constant licking of his lips could be caused by restlessness, or he may even puff up to look bigger and more intimidating. Visual cues. When a bad guy stares at you, he could be sizing you up as the possible target. Another action is that he glances or stares at your chin, nose, or even throat. He could stare at your eyes as well, because these may be potential targets. He may also be glancing around, looking for witnesses, police officers, or security guards that could interfere with his plans. Or he could be looking for the closest exit for a quick escape. Think about it this way. Whatever the eyes are focusing on means they are thinking about doing something in that area. Reactionary zones or distances. The attacker will need to get close to you to complete his attack cycle. People can have a hard time managing distances, and the attack range can be closed very quickly. We need to understand how fast violence happens, our limited choices based on time and distance, and making the best first decision possible. Consider training and then practicing non-lethal, less than lethal, and lethal decisions based on the proximity of the attacker and your reaction time. These 5 indicators are not guarantees of violence, but when you mix them together and throw in some context, you need to pay attention. They are indicators that violence is possible and even probable when several cues are present. Please keep in mind that there are many other telegraphed indicators of violence that exists. I believe that over time, my dad's life experiences taught him to consciously and subconsciously trust his instincts and respect his ability to instantly interpret the nonverbal signs of danger. Remember, from the point that a bad guy chooses you, you will have a very limited amount of time to make a decision. They choose how and when. Your actions need to be confident, quick, and decisive. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Any links that would be pertaining to this particular article will be in the body of this video. Don't forget to check out shootingillustrated.com. I thank them very much for giving me a chance to share my thoughts. Have a great day. Bye, guys.